And then we've got an online academy. It's called the Freedom Achiever Academy. This is for all agents at all levels. 300 plus videos, workbooks, Q and A's, you name it. We spent almost a year building this thing out. When I say 350 videos, you can imagine how many times I was in front of the camera creating videos. So it's insane. We put a lot of effort and work into it. So it's freedomachieveracademy.com. Amber, if you could pump that into the chat box, freedomachieveracademy.com. And if you want to join, it's like 149 bucks a month. It's pretty awesome academy, and there's a lot of opportunity there. So I'll stop there. Every time we get here, every single Thursday at 11 a.m., super pumped to be here with you guys. But the first thing that we do is go to the chat box and we type in, it's a freedom day. So let me see, it's a freedom day. Come out there. Carlos, you're usually the first one. I don't see it, man. I'm brokenhearted, Carlos. I'm brokenhearted, man. You usually do it before I even say it, man. So why do we type out it's a freedom day? I believe that there's a huge correlation between why you're here and why you're trying to achieve success. And a big part of that is you want to learn some things. You might walk away with some amazing stuff today that you'll implement into your business. It might very well up your business in whatever position you're trying to do. And you're working towards some type of freedom. So today is a freedom day. If you put your feet on the ground, you woke up, you took a big deep breath this morning, let's bring that to notion. Let's bring it to your head. Let's make sure that we know that we are developing freedoms, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, whatever that is for you. I usually mention those three because that's what it is for me. Financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom, right? Those are big pieces. I want to have enough money to live wherever I want to live, whenever I want to live, and have the time to do it with people that I love. I want to be able to put in the work, create the atmosphere, build the leverage, and still do what I do every single day. So I run and operate 3 different businesses, and I still go to my daughter's volleyball games. I still hang out with my kid. We still go to the movies. We still do stuff like that. And so it takes a tremendous amount of discipline. Got to learn how to say no a lot of times, believe it or not, right? Like, usually you want to say yes to everything because you're open to every opportunity. And I'm the first person to say, if opportunity arises, say yes. Don't turn your back on it. But also value your time. We spent a lot of time talking about time valuement over the last few weeks. And we brought that into light. A lot of people were like, what's time valuement, right? Time management is one thing. What's time valuement? And so time valuement is really prioritizing the things that are valuable to you and your business and putting them in the top of your day, doing these things and getting them out of the way. This energy the reason for that is because if it goes top of the day, you guys can all agree, you more than likely have more energy at 11 a.m. than you do at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Right. And there are some nocturnal folks that hit me up all the time. They're like, Dave, listen, I stay up till 3 in the morning. I sleep till 8, 9 in the morning. I'm like, hey, that's you. I can't do that. My energy is now, which is why I do these classes at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday. I couldn't do this class at 3 p.m. I would not be speaking this fast. I would not have the same energy. And my coffee wouldn't kick in the same way. Right. So again, super stoked to be here with you guys. Now, I am going to share my screen real quick, and I'm going to go through this workbook with you guys, and we'll kind of do a step by step. And every one of you is going to get a copy of this workbook because I want you guys to really find tremendous success utilizing this workbook. Can you guys see the workbook? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Appreciate it. Awesome. All right, cool. So if you can see the workbook, this is a workbook that we'll send out to you guys. And you'll see, we've got a table of contents. We talk about the plan, right? And so with the plan, this is kind of understanding and deciding what your plan of attack is and where you want to be. We always start a business plan. And by the way, let me backtrack a little bit. I'm going to take a couple steps back, and I'm going to say, we are discussing business planning because we're already in 2024. And those of you that are in sales, which I'm assuming all of you are, because if you sell houses, you're in sales, right? If you sell mortgages, you're in sales. If you sell title, you're in sales, right? And so if you're in this industry, there's a big, big chance that if you're sitting in this class, you're in sales. And so with that being said, sales do not happen today. Right now, you are developing the relationships and you're writing the contracts for the sales that will happen in the future, because it's not a sale until you close. You don't get paid until you close. That's that commission job stuff, right? And so if I want to earn this commission, I'm going to write a contract. So if I get a lead today, it might take me a couple weeks to cultivate the lead. Then the lead finally agrees to go out with me. In a couple weeks, I'm going to take them out to see properties. Maybe it's one day, maybe it's a couple weeks. I don't know, right? Depends on the inventory in your market and how things are happening in your market. Let's say it takes a couple weeks. It's been a month now. Now you're a month working with this person. Person says, I want to write a contract. You write a contract. Now you're closing in 30 to 45 days. You're getting paid in 2 months, 2 to 3 months. So whatever you do today is 60 to 90 days out. And that's why we're very specific in saying we're already in 2024. The plan for 2024 needs to be in effect already. The things that we're doing and developing and creating and building today, those are the plans that we need to have in effect for 2024. I don't care what business you're in. This is sales, right? I don't think anybody here sitting here right now is looking to be empowered to be at their 9 to 5, right? And so if you're at a 9 to 5, be at the 9 to 5, be a wonderful entrepreneur, and allow the owners of that company to be thinking about 2024 at this point, right? So now, this really begins with where you see yourself moving forward. Now, I'm a big thinker, and I encourage people to be big thinkers. I believe that you should not cheat yourself by thinking small, right? And it's funny because I went to Austin, Texas. I spoke on stage, and one of my buddies was also on the stage. His name's Nick Sarnicola. I've mentioned him a few times in our coaching. And Nick said something from the stage that really got me excited. Now, I usually tell folks, if you do not think really big, you're cheating yourself of opportunity. Because if you can't see it, then you can't achieve it, right? What he said on the stage was, if you are an entrepreneur, it is 100% your responsibility and your duty to think big. Because if you don't think big and you don't do big, then how can you possibly affect others? And so in his mindset, what he was saying was, as entrepreneurs, yes, we want to build businesses for ourselves and we want to be wealthy and we want to do things that are exciting. But in that process, we know that we have to develop and build leverage. And that leverage usually comes in the form of people, right? So it's, an administrative assistant, a transaction coordinator, a showing assistant, a buyer's agent, a listing agent, admins, staff, office managers. These are all people that, because you have thought big and you have developed big, have opportunity now. These are people that now have opportunity to develop and plan for themselves and feed their families because you thought big and did what you did. Now, I'm not saying that everyone needs to be this way, right? I've told stories a million times of my $60,000 a year client who was a coaching client who came to me and she said, Dave, I only want to earn $60,000 a year. That's all I need. And it was mind blowing for me. But for her, her house was paid off, her car was paid off. And what was more important to her was going to volleyball games, soccer games, football games, cheerleading. That was more important to her because she had 2 kids and she was a single mom. And so for her, 60K a year gave her a really good life and gave her the opportunity to provide for her kids in the manner of which she wanted to. She made 100 grand that year with a 60K a year plan. Right. And so what I did was I pushed her out of 60K. I said, let's go 100K and I'll show you how to make 100K easily in the time that you've given yourself to do it. And the reason that she was successful at it was because in the periods of time that she had for herself, i.e., kids are in school, right? Or kids are at the football game and she's at the game, but she has her phone or her iPad with her, right? She could do a few things there when the kids are at halftime or whatever the case is. She filled those times and she was extra purposeful with her MMAs, which are your money making activities. And because she was extra purposeful with the time, she was successful. What a lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people say, I'm gonna do A, B, and C, and I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna work my butt off and I'm gonna put in 18-hour days and this and that and blah blah. And look, I applaud you if that's you, but you're running and running and running. And basically what you're doing is you're leaning forward and you're just catching your steps, right? If you stand up and you lean forward, you're not going to allow yourself to fall. So, yeah, that could work, maybe. Or what if you just purposely took the steps? And so that's what business planning is about. So, when we talk about what do you want to achieve in your business in 5 years, think big. Think big numbers, man. Really do it. And what you're going to find is when you think big and we scale this back to 3 years and then 1 year, you're going to realize that the tasks that it takes to achieve what you want to achieve in 1 year to make the steps for the 5 year plan are not that crazy. They're not that crazy. As long as you can accept that it'll potentially take you 5 years to achieve those bigger, crazier, nastier goals, right? I call them nasty goals because I got like private planes on my wall. I've got a Rolls Royce on my wall. There's a Forbes magazine that says America's #1 coach with my photo on the front of it. I've got Airbnbs in Puerto Rico because I want to live in Puerto Rico. I've got like an 85-foot azimuth on my wall. I mean, I'm telling you about guys, like I've got a picture of me standing in front of a black private jet. I don't know why I want a black private jet. I just think it's sexy, right? And it says you can't get big thinking small, right? And so this is on my wall. This is the crazy shit that's on my wall. And then next to that, I've got other things that are massively achievable, like pictures of couples working out because I like to go to the gym and my wife goes with me, right? So we like, we've got those sort of accomplishments too. What else can I tell you? I think everything else in there is crazy expensive. Oh, trip to Israel because we want to go to Israel. Trip to Japan because my kids have been begging me to go to Japan and go to what's it called? Anime land, right? Or whatever that is, So basically, I'm going to spend a full day wanting to, like, hide, and they're going to be having the time of their lives. But listen, we're going to take the whole family. We're going to do this. And for us, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, some of y'all at home right now with 1 kid, 2 kids, and a spouse, my family is my mother, my mother-in-law, my 3 daughters that live in house, me and my wife. There's 7 tickets on a flight to Japan, 3 different rooms. So for us, it's a big deal. It's something we got to plan out, right? So these are big goals, unless I leave some of these folks behind, which have been tempted to do. So, so what do you want to achieve in your life in 5 years? So these are the 2 different things. Then what do you want to achieve in your business in 3 years? What do you want to achieve in your life in 3 years? What do you want to achieve in your business in 1 year? And what do you want to achieve in your life in 1 year? We call it the 5-3-1. We start with 5 because we want to think really big, and then we scale it back to the step by step. Right? It's almost like how do you, you guys have heard the old phrase, how do you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time, right? How do you walk, how do you walk 10,000 miles 1 step at a time? And so the next questions become critically important. How will you know that you're making progress? And so the question of how will I know I'm making progress will be how will you track yourself? How will you scale yourself? What will you be putting into place to ensure that you're tracking your goals? That means quarterly check-ins. That means reviewing your business plan on a 30-day basis. Every 30 days, sit down, review your business plan, see if you're where you're supposed to be. Know if you're ahead or behind. If you're ahead, you don't slow down because you don't know what next year is going to bring, right? Last year, could anybody believe that the market was going to slow down, right? Or we're going to be short inventory? March of 2020, did you know the world was about to explode in real estate and everybody was going to go out and buy houses? People didn't know, so you have to be prepared. So if you're ahead of the game, stay ahead of the game. If you fall behind the game, adjust, tweak, and look at your plan so that you can get to the position you need to be to get ahead of the game, right? What's your biggest pain right now in your business? Look, this is something really great to be able to sit down and look at. What is the biggest pain in your business right now that's tremendously affecting you, right? What do you hate about your business? Because listen, I don't care how many of y'all tell me you love your mortgage industry or you love your real estate industry or you love your title agency or this. There is something about your job you just do not like. I personally do not like paperwork. I can't stand paperwork. That's why I have Michelle Martinez doing all my TC work. That's why I got Amber in here as my assistant. That's why Michael's in here creating websites and all this other stuff. Because as much as I know how to do it, I care not to do it. right? And so we built leverage around it to take that off of me. So it's important to understand the pains in your business as well. Okay, what is going really well for me in my business right now? So this is where we get to leverage and we get to double down, right? So I always tell folks, if you're going to hire an assistant, take a sheet of paper, put a line down the middle. On one side, write down everything you absolutely love about your business. On the other side, write down everything you hate about your business. What you hate about your business, turn it into a job description, and that now becomes your assistant's job, right? What you love about the business, double down on that. Because if it becomes your assistant's job and they take over everything you hate, they've cleared 60% of your time, sometimes more than that. And so if they've cleared 60% of your time, then you have an opportunity to double down on what's really, really going well for you in your business. Now, we're going to tap into this a little bit too. Finances. It is really, really important to look at where you're putting your money for your business. Every month and quarterly, you want to sit down and review exactly what you're doing in your business financially. And you're going to ask these two questions right there. What's my biggest pain financially? And what's going really well for me financially? What am I looking for? ROI, return on investment. Right. So if I have 4 different lead platforms and I'm throwing money at all of them, and one of them's a pain in my ass and the other 3 are doing really, really well, I'm shutting off pain in the butt and I'm pouring that money into the other 3 that are doing really, really well. Or I might evaluate the 3 and see which one's the best, and I might dump it all into that. A lot of people in this industry, believe it or not, look, 85% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, right? We know that. We've all heard this crazy statistic. It's never changed. The number one reason, and believe it or not, this is the same for marriages. The number one reason that businesses or marriages fail is financing. It's money, right? Money's powerful. And so, because of that, most businesses don't sit down and do that evaluation to see where their money's going and what type of return on investment they're going to get. And because they don't do it and they fail at that, it turns around and it comes back to them in a bad nature. Okay. Now, let's get in this. All right. So, the objectives for the year ending in December 31st, 2024. What are my major objectives with family, faith, fun, friends, and fitness? Now this got real personal, right? Because what happens is a lot of people do business plans and they focus on their business only, but they never get into the personal, which is why you see some successful people unhealthy. They have successful business, but they haven't paid attention to themselves, right? Now, core values. This is where we brainstorm. So in the core values section, you're going to jot down a few words or phrases and really capture the qualities you cherish the most of your character, okay? Every answer is valid. Everything holds significance, and you have to ensure that you complete each space. That's going to allow you to take the brainstorm moment, all the phrases, all the words, everything you wrote down, things that you find that are your best qualities, and they're going to help you create your core values, right? Now, we've put detailed instructions in here, so you'll see, now review your list thoughtfully, reflect on each of the terms that resonate with you, gradually eliminate words until you're left to select a few that most deeply resonate with your identity. Be deliberate. These final words will represent your fundamental values, the traits that genuinely encapsulate your essence. Aim for 5 to 10 core values. In the space given, record your selected core values. You can either craft or set a sentence using each word or simply write them down on your own. Now, this is you just kind of brainstorming. What are my best qualities? And you just start writing a bunch of words. Get 30, 40 words in there, and then start eliminating the ones that are least important and leave it to the top 5 or 10 that really bring the most value. You don't know what to put on there? Go to Google, type down, what are a person's best values, right? Or what are a salesperson's best qualities? Or what are his great mom's best qualities, right? And then start getting some ideas and you'll resonate with some of the stuff on there and you'll be able to connect with it and you'll be able to come up with your list, okay? Now we get into your mission statement. These are your guiding questions. So we're creating our core values and we're creating our mission statement. Now, mission statements and core values in some companies will stay the same year over year. And I like to evaluate mine every year. If it's still going to be the same, great. If it's not, what has changed and what has adjusted? Maybe my business already hit. Right now, my mission statement at our company is to positively affect the lives and businesses of more than 1 million people. Do you think that that mission statement will change when we get to 1,000,001? Of course, right? So things will change that will adjust your mission statement. Maybe next time it says 10 million people. Maybe next time it says 1 billion people. I don't know, right? God willing. And so these are some of your guiding questions. Why am I in business? Why am I choosing to do this, right? This is a tough one for a lot of people, by the way, right? Because a lot of people, they got into real estate because they bought a house and then they saw how much the realtor earned and they were like, oh hell yeah, okay, I could do this, right? Like we know those folks, right? And then some of us kind of fell into it, right? I got out the Marine Corps and I didn't know what to do. I was a weapons specialist in the Marine Corps. I was a small arms repairman, weapons specialist, and shooting coach. The hell was I going to do out here? Right? I had some job, police department, Bloods or Crips. Like those were my options. And so I had this, I didn't know what I was going to do. And my cousin looked at me. She said, "Man, you've always had the gift and the ability to communicate with people. You should be a realtor." So I said, "Okay." And there it goes. Right? What makes me unique? How do you know you stand out? Now, your unique value proposition or your UPV is something important to think about. And this can come later on. But what is it that makes you unique? Why do people want to work with you? How do you stand out? What makes you different? Right? It's a big question in South Florida, right? Where I'm at, the Miami Association of Realtors has something like 56,000 real estate agents, right? I think there's 109,000 in the entire state of Florida, and more than half of them are in South Florida alone. Okay. And so it's insanity down here. So people go, "Oh, it's too much competition." I go, "Is it really?" Right? Do you think they're all killing it in the market? They're not. You know, maybe 200 are the top producers of the entire counties, the Tri County area, right? And 200 in a large Tri County, super populated area. It's not bad. It's not a lot of competition. So, what makes you stand out? What makes you different, right? So, I know agents that sell in equestrian areas, and they're equestrians themselves. They ride horses. They do all kinds of crazy stuff, right? You know, I'm not a condo guy. I would be the worst condo real estate agent. I don't like it. I love condos, but I hate going to valet. I hate paying 20 bucks every time I got to show one unit. I hate having to wait for the elevator. I hate having to talk to the security guy up front who thinks he's like boss of the building. Like all that stuff. I don't want any part of that. I get a lead for a condo. I send it to one of my agents. I go, "Have fun. I'm not in. I don't want to deal with the association, blah, 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 blah." I'd much rather sell single family homes. I love single family homes. And if you put me on some waterfront stuff because I love boating, that's where I'm going to stand out. That's where I have knowledge. That's where I can speak better. Right. So what makes you stand out? And that's not, and I use that as an example of my desires and my knowledge piece. It could be a million things for you. Maybe you're the best educator. Maybe you're the best speaker. Maybe you just know your numbers better than everybody else, and it's impossible to beat you on that, right? There's a girl named Anna. She owns a company named Anna Analytics. I would never compete with her on numbers. Right? Like if we went head to head and the person on the other side was super analytical and they wanted numbers, I'd be like, "All right, I bow out because this girl's going to know all the numbers." Right? All right. What do I want to be known for? What will people see or hear that will make them think of me? And that's a big piece too, right? So as you understand that more clearly, your marketing becomes even better because you want to be known for something, right? There's a guy here in South Florida that sells real estate wearing a tiger hat or tiger head, like the entire head of a tiger. It's a big fluffy thing, right? And he used to do it during his showings, but it's all his marketing material, right? So when he does videos, and he's known for, if you sell your house that has a pool, he will put his board in your pool. He'll stand in the board with the paddle with the tiger head, and he will board in your pool, even if it's the size of the damn board, right? And so he's known for this kind of stuff. People love it. They adore it. The rest of his team went and bought heads so that we've got a tiger and a fox and I don't know what else. But whatever it is, that's how people know him, Nick the Tiger. They know him, right? And so people will go, they'll say, "Oh my God, are you going to list my house?" Like he told me a story. He's at a listing appointment, and the mother goes, "Are you going to wear the tiger head in our video?" She knew. He didn't know that she knew, but she knew. And he started laughing and he goes, "Yeah, I could probably do that." And the kids were like, "Yes." They were hiding in the other room, but they wanted to see that happen. So that's what he's known for. What do you want to be known for? Is it numbers? Is it marketing? Whatever it is, that's what's going to help you stand out in the crowd. That's what you want to be known for. That's what you will learn to market better. All right, what do I intend to do better than everybody else? What can I perfect that my competition thinks they have perfected? Now, this is one of my favorite ones, right? Like, what can I intend to do better than everybody else? What is the one thing that I'm definitely going to lock in better than everybody else? I'll tell you mine. I always give my examples because I know me, right? Mine is I will definitely get in front of more people than anybody else, 100%. That's my goal. That's my thing. I'm going to do it better than everyone. Like I have that Forbes thing up there that says America's #1 coach. I want to be the best damn coach out there. I want to build success. And if my team puts up a house for sale, because I have so much views and vision and people know me and see me, if I push that house out, it'll more than likely find a buyer quicker, right? What do I want to accomplish in my business? What's the end goal? This is a big piece here. Some folks say, "You know what, Dave? I want to accomplish in my business that I am successful for X amount of years. And throughout that process, I've been able to prepare myself for retirement. And at this age, I want to cut loose and retire." For some folks, they go, "I'm going to build this huge team, this huge conglomerate that sells 3,500, 4,000 homes a year. Okay. And then I'm going to sell it." That can be an end goal too. Somebody's going to buy that team, you know? All right. So now you're going to take those core values and responses that you gave to the guided questions, and you're going to create a sentence below. Now, I put an example there, but you're going to write your mission. And the example I wrote up there says, "I am a dedicated real estate expert devoted to ensuring an optimal experience for my clients through their transaction journey. I offer precise insight and smart choices to aid my clients in realizing their aspirations. I dedicate my efforts to cultivating enduring relationships rooted to mutual trust, loyalty, and prioritizing my clients' goals. My success is gauged by the repeat business and referrals from satisfied clients to their loved ones and acquaintances." Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds really good, right? I wrote it out and it sounded like caveman style. And then I went to Chat GPT and I wrote, "Rewrite this." And I pasted what I wrote and I rewrote it like that. Okay. All right. Now, just some tips and tricks, right? Now, SWOT analysis, really big piece. You got to know your SWOT analysis. This is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I put some examples in there. Your strengths and weaknesses are internal, they're you and your business. Your opportunities and threats are external, they're the competition and what's happening in the market. Okay. I put some examples in there, give you an opportunity to spell out your strengths and weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. I put an income goal sheet. It's very self-explanatory. You can figure out your income goals and everything in there. You can talk about your different pillars of income. So what's your income goal per year? How many closings you can do per year? How many per month? What it is per month? And what are your multiple pillars of income? So where are you earning money from? Right? Because you know what they say, every millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? 7+ streams. So how are you doing it? And so for some folks, it's going to be, real estate sales. There's going to be maybe a title company element. Maybe there's a mortgage company element. Maybe there's an investment element like stocks, portfolios, insurances, 401ks. Maybe there's a investment in properties element, right? Maybe there's a portfolio being built. Okay. Take that aside. Maybe there's many of you are at a company with a MLM style system. Maybe there's a recruiting element involved, right? So you can decide where you're going to get your income from in the coming 12 months so that it becomes a part of your plan. You have your business marketing plan. We put in there the things that we believe that need to be consistently done. We left some blanks where you can fill in some voids that you might want to create. We have a goal achievement system. So identify 5 smart business goals. You know, here's the goal. Why is that a goal? What would be your excuse for failure, and how do you resolve that? Okay. And then, so taking action. So you guys know I wrote a book called Take Action. I'm really big in taking action. I'll show you guys. I wrote this book first, which I thought was going to be like the opportunity for people to get the blueprint to success. Then I realized a lot of people read it and they were like, "Wow, those are really great ideas." Nobody did anything about it. So we wrote a book called Take Action, and so that you're kind of forced to like, all right, guys, like listen. I know I gave you some good plans, but this is what you're actually supposed to do, right? And so with taking action, this is making all your goal achievements and then identifying the actions necessary, when they're due, and who they're assigned to. This is now who they're assigned to. If it's you, write your name down. Right? There's a process that happens when you put your name down. You holding yourself accountable for a task that you created and put into the system. Okay. That being said, you take this, I put a couple sheets in there. Then you have the cash flow, right? So cash flows, what the monthly, quarterly, and yearly are for advertising, automobile expenses, bank charges, education, training, fees and dues, insurances, health, and so forth and so on. And that's the end of it. At the end, I put the website for the Freedom Achiever Academy, because I would love for you guys to be a part of the academy as well. And that's what we built out for you guys. I hope that this is super, super beneficial to you guys. Mike, if you could, I mean, some folks are putting their email addresses in there, but is there a way to add an attachment in the chat box or a link to this? Like maybe we can
Actually, I sent them the workbook already while you were
yeah,
talking.
you sent it to them? Okay. How did you put it in the chat?
No, I sent it by email.
Okay. Is there a chance that we could put it into the chat as well?
Sure.
Is that what we do? Look, Gabriel just put his on there. I want to make sure. Gabriel, there's no L in that email, just making sure. If you want to type it out again, I don't know if it's correct, it's correct, but there you go. All right. Yeah, if we can put the actual presentation in the chat box, that would be phenomenal. Vaughn says it showed up in her spam folder, so check spam too. Yeah, so we send out a shit ton of emails, and sometimes their stuff goes to spam, and that sucks, but it is what it is. If it does go into your spam, please white label us, make us a safe email in your email provider. The more people do that, the less it'll go to spam. Let me type in here. Sorry, I missed last week's class. Sarah, what's up? How are you? Don't worry. We put the classes inside YouTube. So if you just search for my YouTube, just go to YouTube and type in David Adam Kurz, and you'll find all our playlists in there. And the playlist for this one is weekly coaching, right? So you'll see it in there, and you'll see last week's class in there too. We went a little bit deep last week, but today we get to talk about the worksheet and how to actually put it in place. Let me see. I'm asking any other questions. Hello, everyone. Here's the link. Okay, perfect. The link to the Freedom Achiever Academy is in there as well. If you guys want to join the academy, it'd be huge. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's, like I said, something we put our heart and soul into it. There's a Dropbox link in there that Mike just put in there. That Dropbox link is going to give you access to the workbook. So if you want to just click on that and grab it now, you're more than welcome to grab it. Danielle says, my last mentor had an animation of his face, and that's how everybody knew who he was. That's pretty awesome. So it's funny because I could never shave my beard ever again, because that's how people know me. And so now to bring up like the animation of your face, like I go to conferences and people go, "You're David Kurz. I picked up on the beard." I'm like, holy smokes, bro. Wow. Okay. And then I like to mess around when people ask me like, "Hey, how do you keep your beard that way?" I tell them I like crush blueberries every morning, and I put moisturizer and blueberries in my beard. Somebody had a question?
David, what's up? It's Gene. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Gene? How are you, man?
Oh, I'm great. Busy as can be, but I was just saying, man, I think you would make a great animation character. I feel like you got it going on.
Thanks, man. I should probably do that. I get those messages all the time. I'd love to turn you into an anime,
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous. I get it every day. Appreciate the content, man. Good stuff. Always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Gene. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, brother. All right. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that they want to ask before we jump off? We did finish just a tad bit early, so I think I might have had too much coffee and pre-workout, guys. I'm sorry. I went at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You can watch the video and slow it down if you like. All right. Anybody? All right. So we did do the 3-month platform that we did for $1,500 for 3 months. That's sold out. So if you didn't get it in, I'm sorry. We'll start it again in January. We'll let you guys know. Okay. I can't bring anybody else into the group simply because I'm trying to keep it to 30 people so that there's no more. There are no like we want to make sure that we can touch with everybody, and if there's too many people, we won't be able to do that. All right, guys. Well, have a fantastic day. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be here next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. See you guys soon.